Welcome back to Fried Footie, the #1 American footy podcast. Today we have a special guest. You've seen him all over Instagram. You've seen him on Sky Sports. And my man just hit 30,000 followers on Instagram. Mordzs, shout out to you. Thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I mean, look, when you guys like message me, I look for your page and I thought, you know what? I like the fact that they're Americans talking real football. Because there's this weird stigma in the UK, and it's like Americans don't know ball. Like it's just about basketball and baseball or American football. But it's good to see like actual Americans with American accent talking real football. So,
we're trying, man. When did you first fall in love with Manchester United?
I mean, I couldn't give you a date, but obviously it's a family and a local thing. So United is genuinely my local club. Like I used to live down the road. I grew up in Old Trafford, so naturally I'm going to school every day and I'm seeing the stadium on the way to school. It's part of my everyday routine just to see United. And obviously at the time as well, growing up, being from Manchester, like 95% of people are United fans. Now it's a bit different because City are a lot more successful. But growing up in the 2000s, everyone was a United fan. So you kind of just you fall into it, you know what I mean? And obviously as well, family-wise, my dad's a big United fan, so you kind of just copy what your parents are doing as well.
How aligned are you and your dad on your United opinions?
You know, my dad, like, I don't know, he supports it passionately, but he hasn't got good ball knowledge. That's the only thing I will say. Like, he hasn't got great ball knowledge. But I just put that down to age. He's an old guy in it, so I don't expect him to know a lot.
Who's the player your dad is most unfair to?
Unfair to? Ooh. Okay, I'll say the player that he mentions the most that he doesn't like. It'll probably have to be... Okay, technically he's still a United player. He might leave the season, but Højlund is the player that I hear him speak about.
Højlund gets a lot of slander here too. Don't worry, Dad. Don't worry.
Yeah, he deserved it. He deserved it. We said unfair. That's fair. Like I can't blame your dad for that.
Mordzs is a good guy. He's a good guy. It's the Ghanaian in him. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Arsenal versus Manchester United. Just like tell us what you were thinking about that game.
Where do you even start? Because I could go for hours about this game. Look, I think in general the team actually gelled, and we actually took a strong approach to this game against Arsenal, and actually gave it to them. We didn't just hide back and sit back and just let them attack us. We had more possession. Arsenal rarely ever have less possession in the game. It's very, very rare, and we did that against them. So for me, I was happy with the fact that we actually played good football. The result, I don't know if I can swear, it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's nonsense. Like, the result was just absolutely nonsense. Like, one dodgy goal, Bayern Day. I don't even want to talk about my man.
No. Mordzs, tell me about the goal. Tell me. Saliba, interference.
Come on, man. That's not interference. That's a bad goalie play. Talk about the goalie play. That's what we need to talk about.
Settle this for us, Mordzs.
Okay, look, it's that you're both right in it. Like, I do think Saliba was interfering with the goalkeeper. He definitely was. But what I will say is, though, he was interfering with him, but I can't put it down to the interference. It was terrible goalkeeping. For me, as a goalkeeper, you got to command the area. You shouldn't you're the only person who can use your hands. You know what I mean? Like, if you're the only person that can use your hands, surely you should be at the advantage out of every other player in that box. You shouldn't be the one getting bullied. And the fact that it actually did hit his hand and it still went in, I can't give you any excuse. I can't really, and there's not really much I can say. So for me, I am putting blame mainly on Bayern Day, but I also put blame on the manager as well. Because at the end of the day, you pick that goalkeeper. You got to pick. No, I don't actually think Ronaldo's that good. I don't even think he's any better. But you picked that goalkeeper, and you said the reason why you picked him is because you thought he was a good goalkeeper. So you got to stick by your word and play him every single game. Now, you decided that's the goalkeeper on the pitch, so you got to stand on it.
Yeah, what's your faith in Rúben in general as a manager? You talked about you want to see quality, on the field progression. Like, do you feel like Rúben can do that? Do you feel like Rúben's that guy to meet your goals?
I think what it is with Rúben. He's got positive qualities. For me, the positive qualities with Rúben is he's a good man manager. You can clearly see that the players actually like him and they want to listen to him. He's come into the club and said, you know what, this is going to be the team that I want to run, and this is the team that I want to play, and this is how I want to run this club. And he's done that. So I'll give him that. I give him that credit for that. I give him credit for what he's done there. However, on the pitch, he's been terrible, and people are scared to say it. On the pitch, he's been terrible, and I don't see how people are. I know it's early on, so no one's saying get him out, but the reality is on the pitch, he has not been good, and that's it's harsh reality because we want him to be good. We want him to succeed. We want United to play well. But look, any team can play good for one game. Any team can play good for 2 games. Can you do for 38 games in a row? I can't really say I am fully confident that Rúben Amorim knows exactly what he's doing.
So 50-50 right now. 50-50 right now?
It's 50-50, but I'm more leaning on the side of I want him to do well. So it's more like, okay, cool. I like him and I like what he's brought to the club and I want to see him succeed. So it's more on that side. But there's definitely questions, though. We can't just hide from the fact that we finished 15th. That didn't just like disappear. It's still there. It's on our record. We finished 15th, so we can't just forget about that. You know what I mean?
Can I complain about the game some more? So Cunha in the box, penalty, correct?
That's a penalty.
Okay.
Penalty, big penalty. I agree. Same time, we should have scored anyway. Like there's plenty of times in that game where we could have got a goal. Like and even for example, one of the things that I was a bit annoyed about before the game when I saw the starting lineup was he dropped Ahmad or he rotated Ahmad out of the team. One of our biggest goal threats. And we've got to face that as well. You know, you can complain about refereeing decisions. At the end of the day, there's refereeing decisions every single game. You've got to go out and set a team and put a team out there that's going to be able to give you the best chance to score a goal and win the game. I don't think he did that.
How convinced have you been by the quality of Mbeumo and Cunha so far?
Oh, very, very convinced. Very more so Mbeumo. I do like Cunha, but in terms of Mbeumo, genuinely, I think by the end of the season, we can be talking about him as being one of the best attacking players in the league. And I'm not even just saying that. And it isn't even anything to do with goals, assists. I know he got 20 goals, which is ridiculous anyway last season. But I think in terms of just pure quality, he was the best attacking player on the pitch yesterday. The best. Like easily. Better than Saka, better than Gyökeres, far better than Gyökeres, better than any of our attacking players. He was the best player on that pitch. So for me, I look at Mbeumo and I think if he's doing that in the first game and he's not even fully match fit and he barely had time to even gel with the rest of the team, I think I mean, he played, 1.5 games in pre-season? Imagine what he's going to be in the next 10, 15 games. Honestly, Mbeumo for me is the highlight of our transfers.
I told them last week, Mordzs. I told them that attack is going to eat them up, but they wasn't ready. They need a real old man to come tell them. So come through, come talk to them.
Hey man, we're still talking about 0 goals.
This is the most gassed up any fan base has been off a loss I've ever heard.
I've never seen someone talk more about an attack that scored 0 goals in my entire life.
Calm down. We didn't get to play Burnley this weekend, so relax.
What did you think watching Casemiro followed by Ugarte as Bruno's partner in the midfield? That seems to me like the biggest need in the whole team right now.
No, it is. Maybe other than goalkeeper, but I say the midfield, I've always said anyway, to be fair, that midfield is not working. And this is my biggest problem with the system. In my opinion, when you have a 2-man midfield, which no team plays, by the way, no team, a successful team anyway, plays with a 2-man midfield. None of them. But the only team that wants to win the league, I'm going to play with 2 people in the midfield. There's a reason why they changed that back in the early 2000s when Mourinho came and he put 3 people in the midfield, because your midfield needs to be compact. You need to have enough players in the middle of the pitch to stop defense, but also to be able to transition up the pitch a lot quicker. We have 2 players in that midfield that can't do any of them perfectly. We've got Bruno, who loses the ball a lot. I like Bruno a lot, but the reality is he loses the ball a lot because his first touch isn't the greatest. He tries to do the extravagant passes a lot, which doesn't always come off, but it just means that we always turn the ball over. And in terms of his positional awareness, he's all over the place. He's all over the pitch. He's touching every single blade of grass, so he's never in the middle of the pitch. And then we've got Casemiro next to him. You can run probably 10 yards before crying. Like he's like 33 years old. Like he's never going to be able to cover the amount of grass that we need him to cover in the 2-man midfield. And passing-wise, I do think he is a good passer, but he's always susceptible to losing the ball or to playing a bad pass or getting caught out in possession or having a bad first touch. So even if they both had their best game, there's still 1 man down in the middle of the pitch. So for me, I look at the midfield and I think to myself, you probably need the 2 best midfielders, the 2 most diverse midfielders in the middle of the pitch for it to work. And that, if that's Baleba and whoever else it is, fair enough. But as of right now, what I'm seeing, there's no 2 players at Manchester United that can play in that midfield for a whole game consistently and it work. I don't see any 2 players that can do that. Which is the biggest problem in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw you in a post saying that you could see sometime in the future this season Bruno getting dropped at some point by Amorim. Do you still think that's possible?
Okay, I want to say it's not dropped. It's more subbed. I think he'll start because I still think he's one of our best players. So I still think he'll start every game. But the problem that Bruno's going to have this season, and I feel like he understands this as well, there are better players now on the pitch. Last season, he was competing with Højlund, Garnacho, Rashford for a little bit before he ended up leaving, Xerxes. Like, he wasn't really competing with an injured Mount. He wasn't really competing with anyone for his position. It was just him. And that's why he's probably able to kind of flourish, because when you know you're the best and when everybody else knows you're the best, you almost play better. You know what I mean? Because like you have a bit more freedom. You're not really scared to make a mistake because who's going to say anything to me? I'm the best player on the pitch. You know what I mean? So when now you're playing with Mbeumo, you're just as good, if not better, at certain things. Cunha, just as good, if not better, at certain things. Sesko can put the ball in the net now. We've got Mount. He's actually playing very well. He can do something now. Now you've got a few players on who are now competing for his position. It's like, okay, now he needs to put in performances for the whole 90 minutes where the manager has to look at him and think, I need to keep you on the pitch. Before, he had to keep him on the pitch because there was nobody else to sub him out for. You know what I mean? But now it's like, I've got a few guys that can play in your position, you know. So if you're not playing well, you're not playing well, we might have to make a change. So I think there will come a time where Amorim, if he's got any balls about him, if he's got any kind of wit about him, he'll look in the game and he'll think to himself, Bruno has been the worst player in our attack or in our midfield. If I want to win this game, I need to bring on the better players.
I wanted to talk about the team you faced on Sunday, little Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres, we've had a lot of conversations about him on the podcast. Was he on the field on Sunday? Because I don't really remember seeing him do it. Did you guys see him play?
I saw him fix his hair at some point.
What was your initial impression of Gyökeres?
As a United fan, he was our first target. I've been being so honest. He was our first striker target that we were going to get. But since I've seen him play preseason in this one game, I'm happy we didn't get him. I'm happy. And a lot of people said it. And a lot of people said, look, strikers from the Portuguese league, you got to get lucky. You got to get lucky. They can score 50 goals and not be suited to Premier League football. And I think we're kind of seeing that. And look, it is still early. It's one game. We don't know what he's going to do. But from what I've seen, he got bullied by De Ligt. A lot of people say De Ligt's lightweight. That's what they call him in this country. They call him lightweight in this country. I saw Gyökeres get absolutely bullied by him. I saw him get bullied by Euro. I saw him get bullied by Luke Shaw. I've seen him get bullied in pre-season. Look, for me, I don't even want to crush him too much. But if this is the guy that's going to win them the title, they are not finishing top 3. That cannot be your main guy to score goals. It can't be. It cannot be. That's not a Premier League winning striker, in my opinion. I can't see it.
That's the striker they've been waiting years for.
They told me he was him. That's what they told me.
I know it's saying they told me the same thing. I'm good. I'll be honest. I'm happy with Sesko. I still want to see what Sesko can do. But at least with Sesko, he's 5 years younger, 6 years younger. He's got way more time on him. He's got a lot more athleticism about him, which is what I like. He's quicker, stronger, better in the air. That's what I want to see, because with that, you can work on everything else. You can't just work on being able to make someone run faster. Gyökeres ain't going to get faster. He might get a little bit stronger, but not crazy stronger. You know what I mean? Whereas Sesko's got that already in the bag. If his technique's not great, we can work on that in the training ground. That's what I want. That's what I want to see in my striker. So, yeah, I've got way more confidence in Sesko than Gyökeres this season. So
your fellow Manchester United friend, Chuck, over here, predicted that Arsenal would, in fact, win the league.
First of all, that was when I was buying the Gyökeres group. I am no longer. I am with everybody. He is ass. So I apologize.
He's off the bandwagon.
I was wrong.
It's a wrap.
I was wrong. I have no problem being wrong. To Mordzs' point, he's ass. So that's the record.
One other take I saw you give that hit me as a Man City fan a little is when you said that you think Pep is never gonna win another trophy at Man City. After watching the glory of Reinders and the magic of Shirky, are you still sticking with that?
100%, 1,000,000%. He's cursed. Pep is cursed. Man City has done so much damage to English football. Yeah, it's only right that this comes to an end. Yeah, it's only right that it comes. I can't stand, honestly, I can't stand that club. I can't stand City. It is partly because of Pep, because I rate Pep as a manager, in general. I think everyone does, you can't not. But what he's been able to do at City, how can he even justify it? He's about to go and buy Rodrigo for 100 million. After spending how much money he spent already, you're going to go and spend even more on Rodrigo, and you might even go and get Donnarumma as well. The way our City win it just doesn't feel there's nothing natural about it. It just kind of feels like we're just gonna go out and just get who everybody else wants, and that's how we're gonna do it. So for me, I said this time ago, that take I made it ages ago, and since then, City haven't won a single thing. So I'm riding with it, and I genuinely confidently think Pep will not win another trophy at Man City.
How long do you think Pep has left at the club?
That's a good question. I think he did. What, did he sign a 2-year contract or something like that? I think he signed an extension for 2 years.
But it seemed kind of shaky when he did.
Yeah, I genuinely think it comes down to when these charges come out. I'm sure you guys know what the charges are, the 115 charges.
Yeah. No, we talked about the charges.
You think they're really? I think they're just gonna pay off the judges like they pay off everyone.
Yeah, well, you said it.
You say that with no shame. Like you say that like that's a good thing.
Look, I'm a fan of the football team, and I'm not an investor in the business side.
No, I agree, yeah, because so basically I know a guy. I'm gonna say about I know him for a minute, but he's next door neighbors with the owner of City, like the guy who runs City. In it, they live in like the middle of town or whatever, and he speaks to him a lot about the whole charges. And the owner of City said to him that they spent over 300 million on lawyers to get this brushed under. 300 million, and it's still going. 300 million. What their goal is not to be innocent. Their goal is to spend so much money that nobody even cares anymore. Their goal is to get it pretty much so like to brush it to make it last so long, for the trial to go for so long that I guess to the point that nobody is even bothered, and all they have to do is pay a fine, and that's it. That's their goal. They don't care about how much money they have to pay off, because at the end of the day, the Saudi trillionaires, these guys have money for fun. Like, money doesn't mean anything to them. You know what I mean? So for them, that's all they care about. We're gonna pay as many lawyers as we can to get this brushed under the carpet, and that's it. So that's their goal, and that's probably what's gonna happen in reality.
300 million, Jesus.
300 million, that's 300.
Yes, Crystal.
That's Arsenal's transfer budget, pretty much.
Literally, yeah.
How long have you been on this journey as a content creator? Because I've seen you've been coming up. You know, I've been seeing the posts, getting 1 million views here and there. I mean, like, impressive production quality, storytelling. What's this journey been like for you?
So it's been a long journey, really. So I started making videos in general around 2017, and I was making music videos. So I was just up and down the city, filming music videos for people. And that's where I learned how to like film. I learned about cameras. I learned all that kind of stuff, the behind the scenes kind of stuff, really. And then I started a podcast in 2019. It's called M1 Podcast. And it was difficult at first, I'm not gonna lie. It was about a good 2 years of just like no progress. We were just doing it for the love of the game. You know what I mean? Like, it was over COVID, so we couldn't even leave our house. Like, it was tough. Like, it was real difficult. But the first 2 years was pretty much just kind of, we were just enjoying it more than actually trying to become like popular off it or make any money off it or anything like that. And it wasn't until like the TikTok era first started to like pop off and stuff like that around 2021. That's when things started to grow, started to go viral and stuff like that. And from that point, I was kind of learned a lot about social media just because I wanted the podcast to grow. And I was just learning like, okay, how do we go viral? What do we need to do in our videos? How do we clip up the videos? What's the best things to clip? How do we get a hook? All these kind of things. And it was still very early on into that era, but I was learning it very, very quick. And that's where in front of camera, I kind of grew and grew and grew. And then it wasn't until I'd say 2023, maybe about around 2023 was when I decided I want to do my own personal content. And I thought to myself, you know what niche can I go into, which I know a lot about and I enjoy making it? Because at the end of the day, I always think to myself, you don't enjoy doing something, you're not going to do it. You're going to put it off. You're going to think, I'll do it tomorrow or whatever. You want to enjoy what you're doing. So I thought, you know what? I enjoy sports. I enjoy football. I enjoy basketball. So, you know what? I'm going to make football content around Manchester United. I'm here all the time. And we'll go from there, see what happens. So, yeah, the past, I'd say 2 years, I've just been making football content. And I tried to like kind of fix my own style in terms of like storytelling and trying to make like emotional kind of videos and nostalgic kind of videos, and trying to just kind of pave my own kind of craft because it's very saturated in this market. But yeah, that's kind of been my journey up until now. And then obviously along the way, you kind of, you do work for different brands and different platforms, etc. But it's been fun, man. It's been fun, and really, it's just getting started because there's just so much more that I want to do. So yeah.
So the last question I just wanted to ask you, man, is just what are you've been hitting a lot of big milestones as a content creators. What are some of your goals coming up for this next year, going into the World Cup? Where are we headed with the vision for Mordzs?
Ooh. I mean, there's a few things that I want to do in it over the next season. The World Cup that you mentioned, I want to go to the World Cup. Might even see you guys out there actually. If you guys
come through. Come to New
we're
York.
here,
We out here.
We're here.
Yeah,
Show you good time.
What stadium's in? Is it MetLife that's in New York?
Yeah, it's in New Jersey, so people are gonna get in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, so you gotta take a couple trains. It's not a great time.
Well, I'm sure you have at least one game in New York or something like that, maybe. Oh, no games in New York.
They're all there.
I think it's all in New Jersey.
Oh, fair enough.
We go to Philadelphia. We go to Philadelphia if you want.
Yeah, Philadelphia. Hey, we can meet up in Miami.
We gonna meet in Miami.
It don't gotta be New York. We got.
You gotta come to New York for a little. Have you been to New York, Mordzs?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, you gotta go to Dykeman.
Every guy has been.
You gotta go uptown. You gotta go uptown.
I've not been to New York properly though. I went when I was younger. I've not been like any time recently.
Okay, we got you. We'll show you some spots.
Mordzs, I got one question. I watched one of your videos and you was talking about like the love of football and like when you talk about emotional, bro, I was like, damn, like I love something as much as Mordzs loves soccer. So just like what made you like really want to like make those type of videos? Cause that had my heart racing when you made that about like the three things that you fall in love with soccer, the fans, the game, the wins. I was like, damn, I'm taking life lessons from this soccer. Like I was really feeling that. So just talk to me about that part, like that element of the content making.
You know what's funny? So before I was doing my own like football content, I was doing the podcast. The first video that ever went viral back in like 2021, 2020 was a video where I was talking about how I love football more than girls, and it went crazy viral because I was just saying in the video like, there's nothing that a girl can do that will give me the feeling of United. Like, there's nothing that can bring that energy, that none of them goosebumps.
Nothing, not for sure, nothing.
I was singing at the time so I could get away with it, you know what I mean? But obviously it was a bit exaggerated, but I was being genuinely serious. Like there's certain feelings that like watching my team win and have you ever just like screamed because your team scored like a last minute winner like in 2019 when United beat PSG in that game in Paris, or when we won the Champions League in 2008, or when we won the league in 2013. Like, there's been so many big games. Even when we beat Liverpool like 2 seasons ago in the FA Cup quarterfinal, like that is like
I love
the best. I can't put it into words, but like, I wish I could just wrap up that feeling and just keep it with me like forever, because it's a genuine emotional feeling that you can't really replicate. So that is the kind of emotion that I like bringing out in my videos, and a lot of people agree with me. So it's obviously something that other people have experienced as well. So it's weird. It's a lifelong kind of thing, which, football is something that I was speaking with my friend about this recently. For the rest of my life, football's going to be here, like for the rest of my life. Unless like there's like, I don't even know what could change it, but unless it's like an earthquake or something, and United, but obviously God forbid it. But like nothing will ever like end. Like football will never end. It'll be there forever, and it's been there for my whole life. So when you have something that's there your whole life, it's like family. You know what I mean? Like you're never gonna really get rid of it. You're always gonna appreciate it. So that's the reason why football actually means so much to me.
One serious, I guess, football question. I want to hear what you think about my Spurs. I want to hear what you think about Thomas Frank.
Ooh, Spurs. You know what? Yeah, I'll give you it because you took our Europa League and you took our Champions League. So you know what? I gotta give you a round of applause for that, innit? Because I genuinely didn't think you were gonna win that game, and you did. But you know what? I made a video today even speaking about this. I like Kudus. I really like Kudus. Top player. I think he's a huge signing for you guys. Genuinely, that attacking front, you lost Son. I'm not saying that Son was anything crazy. I didn't in his last years, but I think he's kind of filled that place, maybe done even more than what Son will do. And I think in general, your attacking outlets are pretty good. I like Brennan Johnson. I think he got a lot better last season. Even Richarlison scored 2 goals. I think Solanke can definitely improve from last season. So I think you guys have good players. And even your defense, I like Jed Spence a lot. I like Udogie a lot. I like Pedro Porro a lot. So you've got players in there. I think it's just about, can you adapt to what Thomas Frank wants you to do? Because he's a very rigid manager. Very, very, he's a top tactician. Like everything he does when he was with Brentford was like, it was to the book. You know what I mean? So if your players can adapt to that, which it looks like he's kind of have. He played against Burnley. He's absolutely smoked us.
If they buy Easy from Crystal Palace, are you gonna give us some top 4 love, some title contender love? What do we gotta do? What do we gotta do?
You're not getting it. You're not. You're not getting him. But I'll give Tottenham a top 7 or top 8 place.
That hurt you so much to say. I feel like you threw me a bone so I could shut up.
Who's finishing higher, Tottenham or Man United?
United, easily.
Yeah, you ain't know the vibes.
Season, like, what's terrible, and we still push it above you.
Thank you. I tell these guys, they finished 17th. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
Man U's about to play in round 2 of the FA Cup.
Right,
we're about to in Champions League. There's levels.
Whatever.
You've got 2 games. You've got more games this season.
Before my brother boys leave, you are a Rashford fan, as I would say, right? I think it's fair to say you're a Rashford guy. So what do you make of just where he's at currently, Barcelona, and just how it's all unfolded out for the hometown kid?
No, I'm happy for Rashford. I'm happy for Rashford. Like, I think when I tell people I'm a Rashford fan, people think I want him at United. I don't want him at United. I don't think the fit is for United. I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think it ever will work in the future. The time for Rashford to have worked was 2 seasons ago, and it didn't work. You know what I mean? So, and I think maybe last season that was the last opportunity for it to work as well. But the reality is, the fan base has pretty much turned on him. A lot of the fan base, anyway. The manager doesn't really like him. The British media is crazy. If you know anything about British media, it's insane the way they treat Rashford. So the reality is, Rashford working in this country for Manchester United is a myth. It will never work, and I don't think it ever will. So I'm happy the fact that he's able to go to a club like Barcelona, who, in my opinion, there's probably only 2 clubs in the world that are bigger than United, and Barcelona is probably one of them. So he's able to go to another big club that is successful and will be successful, and also he can play his football without being judged by the British media. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for him. I don't think he should be a United player, but I like the fact that he's able to do what he's doing for Barcelona.
Would that be?
How much talent do you think is still left in the tank? How good could he be at Barcelona?
I think, you know what it is? I think one of the good things about him playing for Barcelona is I don't think he'll ever be the best player. Like respectfully, and I think he's got so much talent, so much ability, but I don't think he will ever be their best player, which I think is actually a positive for him. Because one thing I've realized about Rashford is throughout his career, he's never had to be the best player. He never had to be it. He was playing next to Pogba. He's playing next to Bruno. He's playing next to Ronaldo at one point, Lukaku. He's playing next to Sanchez. He's been playing next to loads of different talented players where he's almost been able to settle and be comfortable with being the second or third best player in the team. As soon as he ended up having to have that pressure, and he had that one season where it was like, oh, Rashford can score 30 goals, all of a sudden it was like, well, we need you to do this every single season. And that's where things went downhill very, very quickly. So for me, I think it helps Rashford if he is the second or third best player on the team behind a Lamine Yamal, behind a Pedri, behind, obviously, Lewandowski's there now, Rafinha, behind these players who were top quality, world-class players. He can actually just fit in and slot his ability into that team, and I think it will help him a lot. So I think he's got so much ability, so much talent. It's not a coincidence that he's been our most successful academy product since Fergie left. You know what I mean? He's been the one player that's kind of done the most at the club. So that's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? You don't just come into the team and do that for 9 years. That you have to have some kind of ability to be able to do that. So I think there's so much ability left in the tank. But I'm also happy with the fact that he doesn't have to have that much pressure to perform every single week at Barcelona.
Yeah.
No, Brad, before we continue, tell Mordzs what you think that Rashford is going to do in Barcelona this year.
Hey, listen, I on Fried Footie, sometimes we get a little fried before the show, and might have been some bad weed, but something like that. I was having Ballon d'Or visions. I was like, if this dude is playing every game with Yamal and Rafinha, he's gonna get an amount of chances that has never been before him in his life. And he may be on the end of those chances. And even just in some of the preseason games, you can see the amount of chances he's been on the end of. Now, will he start all the games? I don't know. Maybe he won't win the spots enough. And like I said, I'm not riding with that prediction too far.
Nah, Mordzs was getting ready to come, so I just want him to go
Nah,
fire.
man, sometimes you look back and you're like, nah, I was wilding for that one. Nah, that was too much. That was too much.
Yeah, I think it'll be the only reason why I say it'll be difficult is because the goals and all that kind of stuff, they have to get spread out. You have to get spread out between a certain amount of players. I think when it comes to Ballon d'Or, one, yes, it is about like who scores and assists the most, whatever. But I feel like your name holds a lot of weight. Like, if your name holds weight in your team, you'll be in that conversation. I think Lamine Yamal's his name holds a lot of weight in that team. Rafinha's name holds a lot of weight in that team. Lewandowski's name holds a lot of weight in that team. Rashford's name doesn't. You know what I mean? So Rashford could have the same amount of goals as another player, but they'll look at it and they'll look at another player and think he's the better player or he's the face of the club and he'll be the one to get them Ballon d'Or nominations and all that kind of stuff. Whereas Rashford, I don't think unless he scores like big goals like Champions League final goals and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, I don't think he'll be in that conversation this year.
Yeah. Yeah, another topic we had discussed about Arsenal was the question of kind of where Saka's level is at this point. I was curious, how many Premier League players would you take before Saka at this moment? You mentioned Mbeumo was better, and I think we'd all agree, at least for that one day, but would you take Mbeumo for a game tomorrow over Saka?
Or the whole season?
As a United fan, yeah, I would.
Okay, you gotta say that, though.
As a United fan, yeah, but I would say the only right wing is better than Salah. I'll be honest. Like Saka is that guy. Like he genuinely is, and a lot of people.
So we're saying. So I'm sorry to cut you off. Just to make it clear, you're saying that Saka is much better than Cole Palmer.
Hell yeah.
He's a 10 though. He's a 10. Cole Palmer's a 10. You're not playing the right no more.
We're not comparing them.
If we're putting Cole Palmer in the right wing conversation, I would take Cole Palmer. But Cole Palmer's not playing in the right wing for a whole season now. He plays in the 10 mainly. I see him as a midfielder now. So if I'm talking about just specifically right wingers, like out and out right wingers that play there every single week, it's Salah and then it's Saka.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. See, that's why you need the Brits to straighten people out from time to time.
You need someone who grew up in the shadow of Old Trafford. That's like a storybook.
No more Palmer versus Saka. I like that. See, that's what we needed that because this was getting out of control.
Speaking of Chelsea, I said that I thought Chelsea was going to be a dark horse team and win the league this year because I really liked.
You didn't say dark horse. You said they're winning the league.
I said they were a dark horse pick to win the league because they weren't. No one considered them a favorite. I said they were going to win the league, but they're a dark horse pick. You know, I bought into the João Pedro hype. You know, I bought into the Delap hype as well, and just all their signings, like they're opening that checkbook crazy. Where do you see Chelsea? Because you haven't even really mentioned them.
No, I think Chelsea can be strong. I've said it before. Look, Chelsea don't go a long 5+ years without winning something big. They never do. It's since 2005, they've always, 2004, 2005, when they won that first double with Mourinho, they've never gone more than 5 years without winning either the league or the Champions League. And I don't think that's a coincidence. They invest heavily at a certain point until they find the right team. They give them 1 or 2 years to gel, and then they go and win. That's a Chelsea mentality. That's what Chelsea do. So I don't think they're going to win this year. But if you said they're a dark horse, I don't mind it. I genuinely don't mind it. And I know the first game of the season wasn't the most convincing, but I think João Pedro's a good player still. I think a lot of teams were out for him, and Chelsea managed to get him. I think you also did bring in. They brought in quite a few players, to be fair.
They brought Gittins, they got Estevao, but they lost Levi Colwell to the ACL injury, and it looked really different. He was so good in the Club World Cup. All those crossfield passes.
Yeah. No, you're right. But they got Reece James back. He's been injured for how many seasons now? Yeah. So that's a big addition. So look, I think Chelsea will be pretty good this year. I think they'll be pretty good. I don't know. It's hard to say they'll be better than Liverpool and City because of how strong they are. But dark horse is exactly what they are. If they do go and win it, it is because they're a dark horse.
I just needed to ask about Ghana International. Like, we got players, right? There's players. There should be players. Tell me that something gets right and we in America with them, or they're in America with us, rather.
You know what it is, yeah. That when it comes to African players that just don't want to play for the African countries, that annoys me. Like, it genuinely annoys me. There's so many players out there that would make, for example, the African Cup of Nations the best tournament in the world. Genuinely, there's so many players, especially in the Premier League. You see, even a lot of the British players, you'd be surprised. A lot of them are like Hudson-Odoi. He probably will never get to play for England ever, but he's Ghanaian. He's been to Ghana plenty of times. His last name's Odoi. Like, he's out and out Ghanaian. You know what I mean? Like, Even like Saka, Nigerian. Obviously, he's one of England's best players. I understand why you want to play for England, but like, there's so many players that could play for their home countries, but they don't, and they kind of just sit around waiting for an England call up or French call up or German. Like, you know what I mean? So, I like Ghana's team. I like, we've got some good players in there. Obviously, World Cup 2026. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? We'll see.
I like to hear.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Mordzs.
Love, man. Love for this, man. This was sick. I like talking football, innit? So, even if you guys want to shout me another time, I'll be there, man. 100%.
We'll have you back soon, man.
Yeah. Please come back. Thanks, man. Thanks so much for your time.